I'm a big believer in celebrating the wins, even if they're tiny. We all have our goals. We all want to be winning races. I think it's really important to enjoy the journey. Personally, I put in so much hard work, so every little bit I get, I'll take. P7, my best result I've had in GB3. I'm gonna take it, roll with it, and go even harder in training. A massive part of being a race car driver is having a very unique skill set. It's something that you would usually develop over a lifetime. You need to have discipline, determination, but most of all, you need to have grit. That grit comes from the ups and downs that naturally occur in this sport. It's the highest highs and the lowest lows. You'll hear it around the paddock all the time. I've heard motorsport described as war. You need to get into this mind state of the warrior heading into battle. Once you put that helmet on, it's like putting that war helmet on, and the car is your weapon. And there's no room for really being passive. Without that respect and without that aggression, you're just never gonna progress into other categories. We're here in the beautiful Budapest, Hungary, at Hungaroring. Really incredible track. It's my first time here, and what an experience. Beautiful weather, beautiful place, really unique track that I think suits my driving style really well. We had our best result we've had at Spa, and that was really good momentum to carry in here, really good energy. I'm always trying to push myself, no matter what I do. I'm never content just like reaching a level and being like, okay, that's good enough. I'm always like, what's the next level? What's the next thing I can do? And a big part of that is my belief that anything is possible. Welcome to Philly's Burger. I think everyone goes through different phases in their life and is different versions of themselves as they age. And you know, growing up, I was a very calm person, very academically focused. Grades were very important to my family and myself. But also, I kind of always lived in between worlds because I always loved sport and loved competition. Went to college and went through what I think a lot of college students go through when it's that time of your life. You're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. It can be very frustrating, at least it was for me. That frustration built up into a lot of anger. At that point in time, I got really into bodybuilding and working out and fitness, and that was a really powerful outlet for me. There's something to be said about bodybuilding and fitness in general, where you actually see the physical results of your hard work. There's a lot of similarities to that in motorsport as well. Just the training that you do off track, you see in terms of results on track. And so I've gone through these ups and downs in my life of different emotions, and I think that's been a really powerful tool for me. I really enjoy pushing the limits of what I'm capable of mentally and physically. I just always find myself amazing myself because we're just capable of so much more than we always think, and just really getting into that David Goggins mentality of like, how far can I take this? When you push yourself, the feeling afterward, like during it, it sucks. Like there's something almost like masochist about like what you do in the gym, because it's like, it always sucks. Like a HIIT session where you're doing something for 15 minutes straight is never fun. But there is something also at the same time that is great about it. When you're done, it's just like, you're just blissed out on the floor. It's like, that was terrible. Like, let's do it again. Really, the physical training, beyond just being physically fit, is all about being comfortable being uncomfortable. It does get to that point in the race car where it's like mentally very challenging at times. Pushing yourself to the limit and being comfortable being at that point. You don't want to get to that point physically in the car. That's why you do the physical training. But it does teach you a lot about that mental state too. Coming into this round was really important for me to continue building. Confidence is such a big thing in this sport, and I had a lot of confidence coming out of Spa. And it was important for me just to come into Hungary and keep making steps forward. It's definitely a new feeling for me coming from, especially last year, a lot healthier place for me to be, not getting in my own way. And you kind of have these like self-doubts and stuff, and once those are removed, it just allows you to flow better and ultimately be quicker on track. Hungaroring, it's one of the tracks where you don't really have a lot of time to think. You're always doing something, you're always preparing for the next corner as soon as you exit out of one. It's a track that punishes you if you make a small mistake in one corner, ends up carrying that mistake through the entire bit. It's not a forgiving track. We had a great 2 days of testing. Started off the first day P2, and then for the rest of the 2 days was consistently in the top 6. Got up to speed really quick, and we just kept getting quicker and quicker, so I felt really strong and confident going into qualifying. It was just going to be a matter of making sure we stayed focused and got our laps in when we needed to, not getting caught up in traffic and whatnot. And we ended up having a pretty good qualifying. We had our second lap, which was disallowed because of track limits. We went into the steward's office, and it was like this close to being turned over, and so that would have put us P8, but it is what it is. We were the quickest VRD car by a good margin, so to qualify P8, considering where we were at the beginning of the year, is a good feeling. I've become very spiritual in the last 5 years, coming more into, as you could say, like the peaceful warrior. You hear guys like the great Kobe Bryant was Black Mamba, and they have like this alter ego that they go into when they go into competing. It's super, super powerful. It's not easy for me. It takes a lot of energy to get into that mind state because you're having to really force yourself into something that you're not normally like. For me, that starts early on before the race, doing breath work, doing some meditation, and just really getting grounded and centered. I think music is a really powerful tool to get you in this like powerful state of mind, like ready for battle. I just start telling myself that all these guys are trying to take something that you want, and it's me or you, and you're always gonna want it to be you. Race 3, starting P5, and that podium is so close I can almost taste it. The car's on rails. We've been quick all weekend. Now it's just time to put everything together and make the magic happen. I've been a little passive at the starts and may have been a little too passive for a lot of the whole year. On the first lap in turn 5, dove up the inside of another driver, and while I deserved the space that was there, he just didn't see me, came down on me, and I like fell all the way from P5 to it must have been like P19 or P18. It was a time when I felt like everything was going so well, and it just gets like all ripped away from you. And in that moment, it was like I had a choice to either be like, well, I guess it is what it is, like poor me, or I could be like, nah, like I am gonna get angry. That at the end of that race, although it didn't get the result I wanted going into it, got way more out of it than I think even a podium would have gotten me. Something just clicked in me, and it was something I never experienced before. I just entered this completely new state of mind. Complete aggression, but in a really controlled way. Just started marching my way back up through the field. One point was like the quickest car on track, all the way back up to P12 on a track that's very difficult to pass. Yeah, that was an awesome race. I loved it. Every emotion serves its purpose, and anger isn't in itself a bad thing, and it can be a really powerful tool. And so that's been interesting for me to kind of dip back into that old part of me. Instead of before where I saw it as like a weakness of mine, now see it as a powerful tool. Coming out of Hungary, I was filled with a lot of gratitude and in a lot of ways a lot of relief too. It finally felt like the consistent results were coming and all the hard work is really starting to pay off. You know, last year was extremely difficult. Even the beginning of the year was shaky. That never stopped. The determination, the will, the drive, all the hard work, training, continued on and persevered. And it finally, like leaving Hungary was like a feeling like finally belong. It was really starting to see those pieces starting to fall into place. Of course, like the lessons keep coming, the challenges keep coming, and the learnings keep happening. I'm like fully embracing all of that because that's the wonderful part of this journey is just becoming that better version of myself every time I'm on track, every day I wake up. Hungary Race 3 was really a keystone moment in my racing career. Like, it was really a big moment for me coming out of that race car. Felt like I won. Honestly, the feeling I got coming out of the race car there was the same feeling I've had when I've won. Confidence building, results happening, and just a really excited feeling going back into training and getting to Zandvoort. This sport, they say it has the highest highs and the lowest lows. It's so true. One moment you're on top of the world, feeling amazing, and you can have the same day feel completely depressed. For Zandvoort, I really want to carry this positive energy, and I just want to have a good weekend and kind of leave all those bad things in the past.